Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Shaban and I make videos about medical school and university. It's been a while since I last made a video. At least a couple of weeks, I think. And I think it's time to get back on track now because what's coming close? Interview season soon. So that's a big deal, and that's what today's video is going to be about. Medical school interviews in the UK. So what do they entail, how you should prepare for them, what you should expect. So let's start off by stating the importance of medical school interviews in the process of getting into medical school. So every medical applicant has to interview to get an offer at a medical school. So after you send out your UCAS application, the universities decide whether they want to call you for an interview or not. And if they do, you have to give an interview, and that becomes the sole criteria for which your offer is based on. And because of that, interviews are of paramount importance. They're incredibly essential to be prepared for. So there are two types of medical school interviews. The regular expected interview would be the panel interview, in which you're sitting across from 2 or 3 interviewers and they're asking you questions. But a very new type of interview, but something that's quite standard for medical schools in the UK now, and it's the interview style used by most universities, is the MMI, or the multiple mini interview. And this is an interview based on the fact that it's spread around many stations. So you'll be going to 5 to 9 stations, in which each station will be testing something different. You'll be interviewed about something different, and it has a very heavy practical aspect. You'd want to look into what type of interview your university uses, the university you're interviewing at uses, and you'd want to prepare for that style. Every interview, every university is testing something slightly different, but there are a few guidelines that you can follow of what you'll basically be evaluated on. First, and very central thing that you're evaluated on in an interview is your communication, your ability to communicate information, experiences, details, basically being able to say everything you want to say clearly and in a concise manner. It's also very important to demonstrate motivation, to show that why you want to do something, why you want to do medicine, why you want to do something particular in medicine, why you want to do it at this medical school, and you want to substantiate that with your experiences and with information that you've gathered. That leads me to the next thing that you're evaluated on, and that's your experiences, like I said. So basically what range of experience you've taken up and what you've learned from it, what you've gained from this experience that you have. Finally, I'd say you're evaluated on, the second last thing you're evaluated on is your knowledge of the functioning of the medical system in the UK, and generally a general overview of how medical systems work. So about the NHS, about hot topics related to the NHS, things like that. Lastly, they just want to get to know you as a person, what your approach to life is, whether it be medical school and medicine related, academic, or whether it be outside of that, how you deal with problems, how you basically your perspective, all of that. And that's basically what they're looking out for. And finally, I'll talk a bit about preparing for these interviews. You want to start preparing as soon as you can, ideally after you send out your UCAS application. But I understand the difficulty of starting to prepare for something that you haven't really achieved as yet, and before you got an interview call. So I'd say the latest you should start preparing, and when you should start preparing very seriously, is when you get called for an interview by a medical school. And your preparation should I mean, not should, you can prepare in any way you want, but I think the most efficient way to prepare is through these resources. So firstly, the ISC medical book relating to medical school interviews. It is very expansive and it covers everything you need to know basically. And then you can use Blackstone tutors to get a more specific view on what questions will be like at medical school interviews. And then you can use the medic portal for information related to NHS hot topics and ethical scenarios, things like that. They have a very large bank of information. And then I'd also recommend going to practice MMI circuits, and these are offered by the medic portal and the medical school application guide for sure. And I'm sure there are other places that offer interview circuits as well. And this gives you really good first-hand experience of what being in an MMI feels like, because an MMI is something that's very new. You would have never done anything like it before. So that basically covers everything I needed to cover about this in this introductory video to medical school interviews. So I just want to warn you that I will have more interviews coming out covering more specific parts of the interviewing process, and definitely look out for those. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful. I hope you learned something about medical school interviews. And if you did, be sure to hit that like button down below and to consider hitting the subscribe button as well for more videos like this. Yeah, thanks for watching.